Wow, this was very bad. Listen, I know a lot of people were super jazzed about this Homestuck Pilot coming out, and if you liked it, I am happy for you. However, I did not, and if you don't want to hear someone saying a bunch of mean things about this pilot, then I won't blame you for not sticking around. If you are staying, well, don't say I didn't warn you. This was astonishingly garbage. Like, I'm legitimately blown away at how pathetically terrible it was. I haven't seen something this try-hard, edgelord, brain-dead slop like this in a long while. I haven't read the comic in quotations, because, like, it sorta is also a video game, I guess, or whatever. Important part, I have not read it. I know basically nothing about this whole franchise. The initial trailer didn't really get me excited at the concept of the show, but it did make me intrigued to check it out. After all, even though I haven't read the story before, I do know it was big and popular. So now with this pilot, it's a great time to get introduced to it and see what all that hype was about. So if there's any inaccuracies or changes or whatever from this pilot and the original story, I am blissfully unaware. I am just judging it based on what it is.
A young man stands in his bedroom.
Now, it's not going to be me exclusively tearing this thing apart. I do want to point out the good things in this, even if it's not much. This setup was funny. The big, grandiose music cutting out to our normal loser protagonist was a funny introduction to this character. Also, I like how the narrator is a sort of in-universe character, because it lets them establish the time frame of the setting in an efficient way.
The 13th of April, 2009. Is this young man's birthday?
I don't like the visual direction here. I may not have read the original story, but I do know that the characters are these little potato guys. This is much more visually interesting compared to regular boy I've seen a million times McGee over here. When John is a small little dude, not only does he actually look 13 to me, but also the sillier, more childish things he does, like his disguises, feel more fitting. Despite introducing us to the fact this is John's birthday right away, they don't reveal he's 13 until the very end. I spent this whole pilot thinking he was like 17 or 16 at the youngest. Also, they bothered to give them more realistic proportions, but also decided everyone still had to be the same skinny body type. So boring.
John, actually. John Egbert.
Zeus now, Poop Lord!
Is this a reference? There's so many jokes that feel like they would only be funny if you understood the reference. Since I don't, it's just not funny. Like, is the punchline the word poop being in the name? There's only 2 levels of humor in this pilot. Minions style, say poop or something wacky, or swear word, swear word, swear word, swear word.
So the house is full of f***ing cakes again.
Looked up at the sky, boom, there's Not that I'm gonna be the hero of this. That's all you, bestie.
Such a piece of shit.
I was so caught off guard by this, I actually asked on Twitter if this was how it's done in the original story too. And apparently no. Apparently there's practically no swearing in OG Homestuck, so why did they decide they should have the biggest potty mouths in this universe? Do they think this dialogue is like more realistic or something? Because it literally just sounds like they're trying too hard to be super cool and edgy. Wow, I said a swear word. My mommy sure would be mad at me if she heard that, hee hee hee. VivziePop did not write this, but it is posted on her personal little YouTube channel. So, hey Viv, if you're so offended by the written by VivziePop meme, stop posting things on your personal little channel that literally sound exactly like it. I don't even mind swearing or anything, but when it's this excessive, it sounds so goofy. It takes me out of the episode and just becomes distracting. And with how frantically paced this animation is, the last thing you want your audience getting is distracted from it. Like, geez Louise, I thought we learned not to do this after Angel Dust's embarrassing display in the Has-Been pilot. What is this? Brain rot animation? You're afraid the TikTok babies won't pay attention to your cartoon if something wild and crazy doesn't flop around and squirm on screen every 2 seconds?
Big boy stuff.
John, happy birthday, bro.
It's so fast, I can't read anything. There's text everywhere on screen, but the animation flies by so fast I don't have a chance to read any of it. I was told the original story was told through mostly chat logs, a lot of chat logs with a lot of backstory and lore and stuff. So I assume the text on screen will probably be important to keep up with everything important for the story, but I don't want to stop and hit the pause button 1,000 times while trying to watch an 11-minute long cartoon.
Jade, are you messing with me again? Never mind.
Egbert blunders into a mid-ass weapon for the rest of his damn life.
Oh, please, John. The hair, the shades, the irony poisoning.
Please, John. And you guys say I'm spacey?
I hate every character's voice, including the narrator.
You know, classic boy stuff.
Everyone's so annoying, especially John. He's nasally and has very little emotional range. And yeah, I know, it's Toby Fox and everyone loves him. And yeah, I love Deltarune and Undertale too. But guess what? Even cool people I appreciate can do things poorly. And I think John's voice is horrendous for being our main character. He just doesn't sound very confident in any of his performances here. Half of the background art is super detailed and intricate, and then the other half is stuff like blurry nightmarescapes. There's already so little in the environment to begin with, so the two wildly different art styles is so weird and distracting.
This Silodex uses a stack modus.
We spent so friggin' long on the stupid inventory system, oh my god. See, I was curious about how adapting a thing that's part video game was going to go. I'm sure the deep, intricate system of John's inventory was really important when you were playing the game part of it, or whatever, but here it's just a super long-winded, super boring nothing burger that bloats the middle of the episode. Just when things were starting to happen, we get sidetracked for a literal, unskippable tutorial. They're irritating enough in video games, but it's super dumb in a friggin' cartoon. The video game inventory thing just ends up feeling like watered-down Scott Pilgrim.
I'm gonna have to sneak down.
Again, this disguise thing feels stupid. It makes sense for a little kid, but not this clearly an adult-looking and sounding guy. It just feels like they're trying really hard to be lol, random.
I just lose all sense of composure when I catch the slightest glimpse of his PFP in my DMs.
The only character whose voice I hate more than John's is Rose. It's so mumbly, like she's not opening her mouth enough to enunciate. And again, why is she so emotionless sounding? Your voice actors sound like they don't give a shit or are phoning in their performances. Hello, John, it's me, Rose. I'm so deeply in love with that other guy. I would go into a flying rage if anything happened. Can you not tell by my passionate demeanor? Okay, I've been awfully harsh here, but here's some more things I do like. I like how John uses his inventory to pick up Grandma's ashes. That was clever, using the item fusing in the inventory to make it happen. I also thought it was funny when he found another inventory slot, but rather than getting a new window, he just put it into his inventory. That was very clever video game humor. Also,
Why don't you just go ask your dad for the game?
The same reason you don't just go ask your mom for.
Touché.
this was a good exchange. I went this whole time thinking there was something specific about his dad that made him do this weird behavior, but his dialogue here made me realize they're just angsty teens who are at that age where they're beefing with their parents, and it was well done. Jade is the only character in this pilot that isn't an obnoxious, full of themselves annoyance, so I guess there's that.
Did you get the title drop yet?
What?
Title drop.
This sequence is just like the inventory tutorial. It takes way too long, it's not funny, the boys are friggin' annoying. Okay, I'll give them this. The action is well animated. It's not surprising. Spindle Horse already had a high bar when it comes to the quality of their action scenes, so it makes sense Spindleroo would also reach that level of quality too. But this is dumb. This is stupid and dumb and so over the top. It just reeks of trying too hard. 8 minutes of John McMost boring guy ever wandering around his house saying the same thing over and over and over again. Ew, Wah, I want my stupid beta. Don't like my dad, wah. While his annoying friends interrupt him, forcing him to repeat himself over and over. Just to end with this too flashy, goofy-ass fight scene, nothing about this pilot makes me like these characters. I'm not excited or interested in these characters, I don't care about their goals, I am not interested or invested in seeing John play his stupid game, and the fact this is dragged out even longer because of this pointless fight scene just makes it feel like an elongated waste of time, rather than give your characters interesting personality traits or something I can like and latch onto with their characterization. Nope, just flashy fight screen animation, because I guess that'll win over the audience. It's like they sat there and they realized nothing exciting happens, like wants to play a game, gets to play game, isn't really a resolution. So they made this fight scene to give the illusion that something was accomplished, but it does not work. And yeah, the interesting, unique-looking, world-hopping, extra-dimensional, whatever the heck all this is at the end, doesn't really help entice me to watch more either. No, I don't think any of these things will actually be much fun to watch if this first pilot is anything to go off of. Wowie gee, look at all these candy corn gremlins. I can't wait to see what horribly annoying voices all these characters will have too. You know what this pilot did? It made me want to read the original comic. Nothing I had ever seen about the original Homestuck ever really interested me, but in all the discussion around the zaniness of the story and people speculating on how they could possibly adapt all of it into a show, I've learned a lot of interesting sounding things about it. Also, if I read it myself, I wouldn't have to listen to the annoying voices or disinterested sounding performances. As for this, I'm usually a staunch believer in the watch 3 episodes rule, where you watch the first 3 episodes before coming to a conclusion on whether or not you want to keep watching the rest of it. But man, this did nothing to make me interested in even watching beyond this point.
What if I just didn't play it?
So, why did I make this video? When I reacted to the announcement trailer, I said it was likely if I didn't like it, I probably wouldn't make a video on it. Clearly, I didn't like it, so why am I here? Well, I also didn't like the Gaslight District's pilot. I've mentioned this before. However, just because it wasn't my jam, I could still tell there was a lot of heart in the pilot. You can tell there's so much love in the character design, animation style, storytelling, world building. My grievances with it is just personal gripes, and I don't want to crap all over a project that clearly has so much love stitched into it. But I don't get any of that with Homestuck. There's no passion here. This whole pilot reeks of a man's desperate attempt to keep his waning relevance. Homestuck used to be huge. Even me, someone who knows nothing about it, saw tons and tons and tons of fan content. Growing up on DeviantArt and early YouTube, I saw the candy corn gremlins constantly. Now that I've seen the main cast, I realize in hindsight I saw them a bunch too. Homestuck used to be massive. But it's not 2009 anymore. There's been so many other new, big things that's stolen the internet's interest away, including a lot of Spindle Horses content. We all started to move on, and this pilot for Homestuck feels so greedy and shallow as a response. Jealous their weird little webcomic game thing wasn't the headlining act at conventions anymore. I feel no love here. It's just preying on nostalgia, which makes this pilot so much worse than just annoying or boring or ugly. What a shame. It's a greed-motivated insult rather than a love letter. If you're like me and you haven't read the original story, did this make you interested or excited about the premise? If you are a fan and you have read the original version, what do you think of this adaptation? I know the swearing is a big change, but did they change much else? Do you like or dislike these changes? I babbled on and on about the brief good moments and the many, many moments of bad. So if you sat through my rambling about all that, it's only fair you get to ramble your thoughts as well. Shout out to my $10 patrons, you're all amazing. Andrew, Valhalla Knight, Chamomile, Classy Critic, Genital War Thunder, Jake, Amber, Scaring Crows, Not All That Evil, Holly, Messiah, Jacob, Ben's Sketchbook, Rain, Trash, Wild Pilot, Josh, Twisty, Juan, Bunkin Duncan, Hoodie Angel, Ranger, Sean, Primaroon, Overhypen, Lavaros, Knight, Plague, Tyrene, Thanos, Pandemonium, Peter, Agiri, Shahid, Eden, The Eliza, Doki Poki, Moon of Blues, Spencer, Bargus Blue, Cage the Mage, Zappy, Wolfgang, Dima, Philip, and Mr. Mailman. So yeah, what did you think? I'm imagining my take is gonna be unpopular, but that's fine. I don't do this to be popular. I do this because I have opinions about things and I like to babble about them. I thought it was terrible. What did you think? If you did like it, I am happy for you. I'm not trying to rain on your parade. That's why I give you the warning. I'm warning you of the rain so you can avoid it if you don't like it. But let me know what you think. If you liked it, tell me why. If you don't, tell me why. Any and all thoughts and opinions, I would love to see them in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.